Brian Faragamian, Senior Trader, as well as co-founder of Professional Stock Trader Live, bringing you Tuesday evening's technical analysis video update for January 27th. And we're going to start off and just make mention that the Dow closed up 58.7 points today, 58.7 in a very choppy session. We saw the Dow approaching the 8250 area and get repelled off it again today, and we're still cautiously optimistic that the resolution will be to the upside, but let's go ahead and revisit the charts that we looked at a couple days ago, and let's blow this up here again a little bit for you and take a look. As you can see here, we have broken a downtrend line in the Dow Transports here on the left-hand side, but we've broken it more because of time rather than price. As you can see here, it's not like we've really shot up off the bottom, anything significant. The downtrend was just a very steep downtrend, and as time goes on, you don't have to do a whole lot to break out of the downtrend. Again, we started approaching towards the 2909 area. Today's low, I don't believe, was 2920. It was 2926 actually today. We have 2920 here, but today's low on the Dow Transports was 2926. The transpos acted well and should have, considering oil was down $4 a barrel. So that doesn't surprise us that the transportation stocks took off in the afternoon. And as you can see here, the same thing, and we're going to zoom in on this picture a little bit. You can see here a little bit the same type of pattern where the Dow Jones Industrial Average did not have to do a whole lot to break this downtrend. It was more a matter of time rather than price. Now again, today, and let's blow into this a little bit more, today we again approached up into this 8250 area, 8225 exactly. The previous day we got up into the 8230 area. We've been making mention that we want to see the market start taking out some of this overhead resistance that comes in right around this 82.25, 82.5 area. If we get up and through there and through the 8300 area, the next stop is somewhere up around the 8500. This is where we think we're going. To caution you, and as a reminder, tomorrow the Fed's decision on interest rates comes out, so we're going to have to take a look and factor that in. Today was the third straight day the Dow Jones closed up on the day. So while it's the third day we've closed up, is it the third day we've closed up? No, actually it's only the second day we've closed up here on the Dow. Well, for it being two consecutive days closing higher, on Friday we closed at 8,077. Yesterday we closed at 8116, so we only had a meager 39 point gain yesterday, and today we had a meager 50-some point gain today. So we've had a couple of up days, but they haven't been very significant. I believe it's the NASDAQ has closed up 3 consecutive days. But in any event, we're still believing that the market is going to move to the upside. And let's just take a look at one other picture here of the Dow, and let's look at the stochastics on it. As you can see here, as we zoom in on this here again, the stochastics are just slightly turned positive, and they're on a very minor buy signal, but nonetheless a buy signal. We're still trading below the 20 mark on the stochastics, so our stance is we are long. We're staying long until we're otherwise proven and taken out of our DDM long and stopped out. Either the DDM stops us out at 2610, or we're going to be stopped out because the transportation index, the Dow Transpos, break below 2909. So just let's be clear on that. We are using those stops accordingly, as mentioned, until otherwise notified. A couple of stocks we're going to take a look at today. One is Amazon, and this we highlighted last evening on the charts. And we're going to take a look at it again because today Amazon closed down over $1. It closed today, the closing price on Amazon was $48.44, and it closed down $1.19 despite the market being up. And as you can see here, again, below this 47.5 area, and we slightly broke 48. We got down to 47.72. Below 47.5, 48, we think the stock, on a closing basis, is headed lower. Despite the market being up, the stock was down. Again, it just slightly, and let's zoom in on this here, it just slightly penetrated its 50-day moving average here. So this is a stock, while maybe doesn't break down here on the immediate near term, this is a stock to look at as the market rallies overall, and if Amazon moves up with a general market move, if in fact we do get that on the Fed announcement, this is a stock that I'd look to be one of the first ones to short, because it's not showing any signs of wanting to rally and break out of this range. In fact, it looks like it's wanting to break out of the range to the downside. So this is a stock that I'd have on your radar that if we get a market rally and you see this stock's not performing, this is one I'd look to be a short seller of and look to get in on the short side. And as we can see here, if we take a look, here, and I'm going to bring up a drawing tool here, we can see the stock has what's called a head and shoulders, or head and shoulders top, where we've got the head drawn out here, we've got the left shoulder extending through this period of time, and we've got the right shoulder here. If we start breaking down below this neckline, which is this 47.5 level, the stock is suggesting lower prices, and that's what we'd be on the look for, lower prices, but we would not be shorting this until we broke that 47.5, 48 area on a closing basis, or you saw significant price erosion on an expanding volume as we started taking out this 47.5 area. So that's the stock we have on your list. Moving on, we're going to take a look at one other stock that we actually have currently as a swing trade that we are long from the 40.40 area, and that's Stryker. They're in the medical field, and here's a stock that's got a real nice chart pattern. The stock finally filled its gap, as you can see illustrated right here by this pink circle on the left-hand chart. It came down, it filled its gap, and it since then has bounced nicely. And let's go ahead and take a look and zoom in on this here a little bit. As you can see here, the gap got filled, came down, filled the gap almost to the penny, and since then has reversed and bounced off of it. Here's one that we think above this 42 level as we look at the right-hand chart now. If we start taking out the 42 level in earnest, we think this stock is signaling to us higher prices and significantly higher prices. Again, you can see as illustrated by the white line, you've got a 50-day moving average that is now popping its head back above. It's popping its head now above the 20-day. The 20-day coming in at 40.12, and the 50-day, we can't tell exactly here, but it looks like they're almost converging on each other. So above 42, we would also look not only to maintain our long position on our swing trade, but we'd also look above 42 to play this for a potential day trade. So this here is a day trade, a real nice day trade idea we think that you should have on your alerts. For above 42, we think this stock will start to scoot. And again, watch for volume to come into it. If you start seeing an increase in volume, and let's go ahead and take a look at some volume numbers here and see what it looks like here. If you start seeing an increase in volume, and today we actually had a higher volume day than the previous day, and we've had the highest volume day in the past 7 or 8 trading sessions here. So that's a good thing. If you start seeing the stock taking out this 42.5 area, as outlined by this trend line here, if we start taking out the 42.5 area, we would look to be a buyer of this stock, and we would look for the stock to move significantly higher. Our next target would come up around the 45 area. So this stock also is not overbought, as you can see illustrated on the right-hand side by the stochastics. In fact, we haven't even crossed back over to a buy signal, so we like to set up, again, watch for the stock to take volume and start moving above the 42.25 to 42.5 area. We think this is one that can be played from the long side when it does that. But again, these are for day trades. We already do have a position trade there where we are long from 40.40 with stops below. We're going to continue to use that stop on the swing trade. But for day traders, here's another spot to look at. So we've talked about the Dow Transports, the Dow. We've talked about Amazon. We've now talked about Stryker. That's all we're going to discuss tonight. Let's stay tuned to the Fed's decision coming out at 1:15 Central Standard Time. Let's hope we continue to see the stock market rally, move up into this 84.50 to 8,500 area so we can take our profits on the DDM long. Again, that's it for this evening. Have yourselves a great night. Tune in tomorrow morning at 8:20. Thanks for listening, and we will see you in the morning.